Hey everybody, this is Pete from PA Labs, and I'm picking up on the building out of our war game and kind of setting, I guess, I don't want to say ground rules, but um, let's see. There's going to be a lot of controls. There's going to be a lot of form work. So my thought is I'm going to try to show as much as I can of what I'm doing, but every hour of video takes about 2.5 to 3 hours of work to get it all onto the site and everything. So I would like to get this done while I'm still not 70. And so toward that end, what I'm going to do is stuff that is new that I don't already have videos on. I'm probably going to record most of, and then we can speed up and slow down the video as need be. But stuff that I've already done in videos, I'm expecting you to remember or be able to go back and mess with those. And as an example, the initial screen here is going to be, as we discussed in the last video, the initial screen is nothing more than a list icon. Let's see, main, yeah, here we go. And it's just going to be a data grid that shows you the game name, and then you have the modify and delete button. And if you watch the series of videos on gadget replacement and data grids, I walk you through every nuance of being able to do that. So I'm not really going to do that on this video because we already have a whole series. So over here, just to say I've done it, is we actually have our create game grid. Here's the gadget replacement piece, and here's the the grid population. So we can come down here and call this guy, and we pass in his grid name, and then we're gonna share this game list. Oh, I don't need to. That's right. All right. So we just come down here and we're gonna create a war game object. That'll be sometime today. That'll begin probably on this video, which won't get out for a while now, but because I got a lot of work to do. This right now is going to start out with dealing with the screens. So to let you know, I have replaced that list icon with a data grid, and here it is. And I came up with a brilliant idea, or at least I think it's pretty good anyhow. I have a sample grid code, and this sample grid code is part of the project, but it's not actually brought in. I don't have an X include for this file. This is a example, cut and paste and then modify as you need. So here's the actual change in click procedures on the buttons, and here's the grid creation. And if you have an ad, we're going to go ahead, and here's an example of an ad. Copy this where you need it and then change it, so you don't have to invent this. You don't want to reinvent every single time. You want to try to standardize how you do what you do. So that way, in 6 months, when you go back to your program and go, oh, yeah, I remember that program, and you bring it up and go, wow, what was I thinking? How did I do it? Why? You do it, you figure out a really good way that works, and then you kind of just stick with it. So that's the idea here. That's just sample code to be dragged in and dropped where it's needed, and then maybe deleted out when it's not part of the actual exe. So I've done this, and now what I'm going to do is come back out here, and this is obviously Ice Designer, and we're going to bring up and we're going to design that great big creator screen right now. And I'm not sure how much of this is going to get sped up, but we'll see. I mean, this is going to be a big screen. We're going to start out with giving us a panel gadget. I don't know if you guys have used panel gadgets. They're pretty cool gadgets. Um, they're the guys with the big tabs on them. So we'll put him against the wall here and let's see. Oh goodness, that's kind of slow, isn't it? Well, resources are what resources are. Let me go ahead and close down that because I know he's a big resource hog as well. So we can then drag you down here. I don't need, well, let's bring you up a bit because when we add a menu to this screen, he's going to steal some real estate from us. So probably right about there. If we want to do these, let's come over here and give our panel gadget a name. I'll call it main. And then we can double click tab 0. And this is going to be terrain rules. And we ought to name him terrain rules. And then we can jump to tab 2. And this one is going to be units. Okay. And this will be units. Okay. Now I want to add, oh, come on, you. Oh, you didn't take it. Okay. Sometimes it gets a little squirrely like that. Units, maybe there's a key in here, UNITS, that I gotta hit enter or something. Yeah, that might have been it. I don't think I hit enter. Units, and that's a plural, isn't it? I don't want that to be a singular. Okay, so, oh hush, quit beeping at me. All right, so then we have units. Now what I want to do, and if you noticed I selected the panel, right click, and then we can say add a new tab. And then over here we can say the last one is going to be cities. And right now that's about as far forward in my head as I have thought on this. Everything is subject to change. So we have cities. Now, all of these are going to need well, all of these are going to be grids, right? So let's come in here and put in our plus sign. And where do we want our, oh crap, I did the wrong ones, didn't I? I did X and Y and not width and height. Oh well, no big deal. We'll grab him and throw him up here in one. And so this would be city add. All right, so what that's going to be is a configuration for our cities. And okay, let's go ahead and put our graphics in there so we only have to do it once and we'll copy it to the other three. So this jump to, of course, new map maker because that makes so much sense. We'll come down here to video game, and then we can come into images, right? Yes. And then this is GUI images, so we don't just have a great big buttload of graphics that are just thrown into a single folder. This is more than enough, let me assure you. Okay, so we're looking for a plus sign. That would be a P, right? Let's see, maybe here we are. So plus, and come on, you can get there. Oh, that's right, you got to ask, and I want no. I like having that little white, like 1 pixel border I think that's pretty nice. So that's why I say no. Otherwise, it would be tight and you wouldn't have that little white gap in between there. So let's see. There we go. We hit the push in button, the press button. And so now that we've got all our images attached, we're going to copy this guide, go to our next tab, and paste. And then if you'll recall, he was all the way to the top against the wall and then back one. And the reason you do this, and this is good form design, so when somebody changes tabs, they're not seeing that darn plus key, the button jump all over the screen. That's a kind of a, okay, it's a real pet peeve of mine that you don't line it up. So, and I would think many a developer has that same opinion. Um, so yeah, you always line up stuff on the tabs as good as you can. So the next thing these are going to have is a list icon, and it doesn't matter what I don't want him touching actually. So we're going to put him there, and it doesn't matter what gadget you use for this because I'm going to replace the gadget. It just doesn't matter. So this is going to become a data grid when we're all done. So the only thing that really matters is we're going to say terrain rules. Now this is going to be the terrain rules that, okay, tanks movement is half when it's in the woods and stuff like that. So units, we can copy, there's, copy and paste. That's what we do. We're all CPAs, right? Copy, paste, and assemble. It's what we do best. Okay, so come down here, and this is going to be a unit placement on the screen. Now, I know that the map maker actually can do some of this, but I want it here for this. If you want to do it there, I guess it can be coded in. It won't be in this project, but that's okay. It can be coded in. Units, and now we can come to this one, because on the way to this screen, where's paste? There it is. We're going to have to import a map, right? We got to have a map to our game. And we're starting with the map that comes out of the map maker. So this is cities. So I'm actually going to build an entire new map. I'll do that off video because let's see, scroll area is next. Because I've already got videos in existence showing you how to do that on MapMaker, and that's something everybody should be able to know how to do. Now, I'm going to lay these guys up against each other with a 5 pixel separation. I don't think that much matters. What am I doing? What did you just do? Oh, you moved 1 pixel for me. Aren't you good? Okay, so we're going to stretch this out to be the entirety of the screen. Now, there's that. We're going to come over here now and add our scroll area. What is that? The canvas gadget. That's it. So if you've seen the scroll area videos, then you understand what it is I'm doing here. So again, I like these square to start off with. Not that that really matters or cares. Now, I'm going to go ahead and save this. And this is going to be our main desktop for this application. This is where you're really going to live. I know I called the first screen main because that's the first screen. That's always main. And he's going to come up, and then you're going to create a game which gives you what I've now called, instead of game create, I've called it game details. And then you put in that, and this is where you're really going to live and work in this program. So what I'm going to show you is a little bit of a trick that I've figured out with ICE Design. If you look closely, you have a tab form 1 and a tab form 2. This allows us to jump to 2, and for whatever reason, it always goes to the background. So we'll get all this other junk out of the way. So he's here, and I can open up any other form I want to open up on tab 2. Now, it's real difficult to see, at least in the black dark theming here, that tab 2 is selected. So, take it as you will. What I'm going to do is just copy all of this right here. I'm going to hit Control C, and then I'm going to jump back here, and I'm going to come in, and I'm going to paste. Okay, now, because what we're going to do is similar. Not going to be exact. As a matter of fact, I'm only taking these two. We'll move them out here to the far right. And this is just informational stuff. These are not, I don't know if I actually really grabbed all four. Okay, there we go. Yes. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of this. We don't need, we're not going to have map layers as such. Okay, so, we are, but we're just not going to call them out that way. That makes a lot of sense for the map maker, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense here. Now, I'm going to bring this over here, and I'm going to try to get us as much real estate as I can get us for these guys down here, so we got as much of our map that we can see. Now, I think we're going to probably add some more stuff in there. So I have to leave 30 or 40 pixels down here at the bottom. Oh, it's still going. Way too many clicks, Pete. That's what you get when you're running out of resources. Okay, so this stays pretty much the same. We're going to do a game name. This is going to be able to let you jump back to the that game detail or game create screen. So if you want to change the name or the write-up, yada, yada, whatever you want to do there. This is going to be your game maps. And if your game happens to be a campaign, why then you'll have options here and you'll be able to add additional maps. Here's your cursor location on the map, well, the grid, the row and column, and this is going to be the cursor XY. QRSORX. Oh, wait, we got to make this one look pretty. So we'll do cursor dash X, and that looks pretty. And then cursor X as your name, and then you're going to be cursor dash Y, and that one looks pretty, and this one's down and dirty. Oh, I thought I typed something extra in there. Cursor Y. All right, so now the next thing I'm going to do is back these up a little bit and take back some space. Maybe I took back a little much. Okay, now we'll take these two and bump them over because we know we're going to have thousands. That's going to be at least a 4-digit number, and if I want to format it with commas and stuff, it'll be bigger. Okay, so let's take this guy, and he is not that anymore. And his name is Cursor Cursor Y. Whoops. God almighty. I do miss being able to type. Yeah. Oh well. Such is life. All right. And Cursor X. Okay. So there you go. That looks pretty good. We're gonna stay. Maybe. Yeah, we probably are gonna need a button down there, aren't we? So let's bring up our jelly buttons, which is we need it to go like that. I think. Is that too big? Actually, I'm not real sure about this button. He may live there, he may not. So this would be save, right? And we can say save. Okay, so the back color will go ahead and set to red because, oh, no, I don't want red, but hold on. Let's fix this up. So we got white on red, but it really needs to be blue, and it's barely readable. So let's come in here. Come on, you can get there. All right, Rockwell. We put in Rockwell, and you're probably wondering, well, why do you always pick Rockwell? Well, I'm the inventor of the game, and I like Rockwell. So that's all the reason I really need. So, okay, there's our main screen. Now, I've thought this through somewhat as far as I think things through as I go along. And we're going to be initially over, let's open up the what was the create screen, which is now the detail screen. Um, and so we're here. We create our game. I added a new field here of max turns because that's an important aspect in a game. So many games, think of the Battle of the Ardennes, or the other name for that is the Battle of the Bulge, the misplaced offensive by Hitler late in the war against the U.S. Instead of taking those 60 divisions of armor and holding off the Russian onslaught, he threw this massive assault, 60 divisions of armor against the Allied line, caught us completely off guard, and came to the big Battle of Bastogne, and the goal, he had like 70 hours, and that was it. That was all the fuel those tanks had, and then they become just dead pieces of steel. And they had to take the supply depot in order to stay alive. And the U.S. threw everything they could in front of them to make them use up their fuel and not make it. And eventually the gambit paid off. And shortly thereafter, Patton made his 3-week, what was it, 400-mile march up there to relieve Bastogne and stuff like that. But so having a turn limit is important because that puts the pressure on whoever's attacking. They got to get it done now, regardless of losses. You've got to meet this objective. So the idea here is going to be 0 is infinite, and then if it's greater than 0, then that's how many turns you get. So that's the new field I added here. So when you're here and you've defined your game and you hit save, what we're going to do is en route to this screen, or actually, I guess it would be prettier, is if we come over here and we, where's this screen? That's creator, right? So this screen's going to pop up and go, hey, I don't have a map for this game. You've started creating a game here, and I don't have a map to load into this combo box. So what he's going to do is kick up a screen and say, I want you to select a folder uh, to import that is an output folder from our map maker. Okay. And then we have a whole buttload of code to write there, because what we want to do is bring in all those images. All that JSON file has to be converted. We're going to need to build probably 6 or 8, 10 structures. We'll be building modules most likely. And they'll come in here and be able to suck all that stuff up into our game database for this map, for this game. Okay. So what we're going to need right here, let's go ahead and export this screen. And you got to be real careful on exports when you're playing with that hold on, I want to point this out. When you're playing with tab form 1 and tab form 2, you be real careful, because you may end up saving and exporting to form 2, not to this location. So be real careful. And okay, so we called this creator, correct? Creator, yeah. Creator.pb. Okay. So this is, I already have exported him into here. Wonder why he asked me again. Okay, well, I guess he's gonna, overlay it. I have played with this a bit. Let's see, he should have, there it is. He jumped it and put the code over here just like he always does. And then we're back here, and then we can hit save to save. Maybe I did a save as, I don't know. Okay, so we're all saved. So now we want to create a new form. Creation on this is he takes whatever the form design that you just had and says, okay, obviously you want the same size. So import map. That'll be this guy, right? So this is FRM import. Oh, I don't want a space. Import map. Did I cap? Yes, I did. Okay, good. So we have an import map. We'll need a couple buttons down here of cancel and so if they hit cancel, we're going to return them back to that create screen, that detail screen, because you didn't, I got to have a map. You can't just create this with nothing. So, so we have cancel, and font with you is Rockwell. I have always in my life talked to myself while coding, and I recommend it. So there's a vein of thinking, and my wife's was, oops, I did the wrong thing. Was a special ed teacher when she was working for years and years, and there's a vein of thought that says the more senses you can bring to bear while you are doing something new, then the higher the probability and the faster you will actually retain that new knowledge. So if you talk to yourself, you have what I see as two significant benefits. The first is, and this is really the obvious thing, is that you never lose an argument. And then the other part of it is that you actually will learn faster, because you're now not just thinking and reading and using your eyes or just eyes and ears, like in watching a video. I think that's why people like videos, is that now you have your eyes eyes and ears and brain focused in, so you're using three. But if you're doing this on your own, if you talk to yourself, then you're automatically adding audio and hearing to the thinking. So you're bringing three senses to bear, whereas other people are just bringing one. So important tidbit there. Okay, so what we're gonna want to do, let's see, this needs is gonna need a progress bar, I would assume, because it's a bunch to load in, right? So let's come in here and drop a progress bar, and we'll make him nice and pretty. And the screen is way too big. Okay. So, I mean, what all do we need? You're gonna come up here, maybe give you some of that. I mean, it's gonna be relatively fast as it is. So we'll need another button here, and let's say, let's put it over here. Select map, right? Oh, wait a minute. What on earth am I doing? That doesn't make any sense. Let's put this guy up there. You don't need to save. Duh. So you're going to come over here and you're going to import map. Okay, so you click that button. We're going to throw up a path requester guy. Oh, look, I stuttered on my S here too. So this is going to be our input screen that we're going to throw up and say import a map. They hit this button. We're going to open up a path browser, let them go wherever they want to go, and choose the folder that was created in the export of the MapMaker program. Okay, so import map. Import map. And this needs to be a form. So we're going to save. And this is going to conclude this video. I'm not sure how long. I think I've been recording for at least 30 to 45 minutes. So, yeah, thanks for listening, and I'll pick you up on the next video.